The 24th of June, 2026, Foxborough, Massachusetts. A goalless draw, and a 73-year-old man standing at a press conference microphone, looking directly at a FIFA official sitting in the room and choosing his words with the precision of someone who knows exactly what the cost of honesty is. Carlos Queiroz has managed at 5 World Cups. He worked alongside Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester United. He has been head coach of Portugal, of Iran, of Real Madrid. He has been in rooms like this one for 50 years. He is not a man who speaks carelessly. So when he said that VAR had gone for a coffee, everyone in that room understood exactly what he meant. Here is where things change completely. Because what happened in Foxborough was not a frustrated manager venting after a bad result. It was something more precise than that. Queiroz ended his criticism with a line that carried more weight than the criticism itself. "I'm sorry for my sarcasm, but if I say these things seriously, they will punish me. So I hope you understand that I'm joking." He was not joking, and every journalist in that room knew it. 2 incidents, 13 minutes apart, both involving Ghana's most dangerous player in the second half, both going unpunished. Both reviewed by a VAR system that found no grounds to intervene. The first came in the 66th minute. Ghana substitute Prince Adu had been on the pitch for less than 10 minutes and had already changed the game's dynamic with his directness when Jordan Pickford came out to challenge him. The collision was visible. Adu went down. The referee, Honduran official Said Martinez, awarded England a free kick. Queiroz called it a clear foul and said Pickford should have been sent off. There is no doubt about that. 13 minutes later, Adu broke into the England penalty area in what appeared to be a clear goal-scoring opportunity. Ezri Konsa lunged from behind. He did not get the ball. He got the man. The contact was there on the replays available to the millions watching. A penalty was not given. A red card was not shown. VAR reviewed it, or was supposed to review it, and found nothing worth changing. Wayne Rooney, watching from the broadcast gantry, said Konsa took a huge risk and got the man rather than the ball. Think about what that means. Wayne Rooney, an England legend, saying publicly, in real time, with no interest in favoring Ghana, that England's defender was fortunate not to concede a penalty that would have significantly changed the match. That is not a partisan reading. That is an experienced professional calling what he saw. VAR called it acceptable. The VAR official responsible for reviewing both incidents from the Technology Center was an American named Armando Villarreal. The on-field referee was making his first career appearance overseeing a match involving either England or any African national team. Those facts are not criticisms in themselves. Referees have to have firsts. But 2 disputed moments, both involving the same player, both going the same way, both surviving VAR review, in the same 13 minutes of the same match, places those officials at the center of a conversation that is now much larger than a single game. Because VAR went for a coffee is not a phrase born from this one evening. This is not the first VAR controversy at the 2026 World Cup. It is not even the third. Switzerland against Qatar in the opening week, where the decisive visual evidence was never shown publicly. Argentina against Algeria, where analysts including Nasruddin Nabi said Messi escaped a card for a challenge that should have been red. Algeria's subsequent formal complaint filed with FIFA in Zurich. And now England against Ghana, with 2 incidents in 13 minutes, both going England's way, both involving their opponent's most dangerous player. FIFA received Algeria's complaint in writing. FIFA reviewed the Argentina decision and found it acceptable. FIFA sat in that Foxborough press conference room while Queiroz told the world that VAR had gone for a coffee and that he was joking because otherwise they would punish him. Not in words, in a coffee metaphor. That is how a man with 50 years at the highest level of this sport is required to deliver his verdict on a system that is supposed to protect the integrity of the game. The pattern across these controversies is the one Queiroz identified without naming directly. Decisions that benefit the bigger, more commercially prominent nation. VAR reviews that find those decisions acceptable. And the football world, including England legends, looking at the replays and saying with varying degrees of politeness that something was missed. Think about what this reveals about the structure of accountability at this tournament. Algeria filed formally. Queiroz used sarcasm. The broadcasters spoke directly to camera. Each challenge was different in character. The underlying claim across all of them is the same. The system is not being applied consistently, and the inconsistency tends to benefit certain teams over others. That is a serious allegation, and dismissing Queiroz's tone as theatrical does not resolve it. He is 73 years old and has been to 5 World Cups. He knows where the lines are. He put his criticism right up to those lines, dressed it in a coffee metaphor, and made sure every person in that room understood exactly what he meant. He said it as carefully as a man can say something, while also making clear he knows the rules of what he is allowed to say. You have followed football through enough cycles to know what that kind of restraint costs. And history, the record of what was said by whom, when, will decide which of them was right. This is not the only expression of that larger divergence. Alongside Algeria's formal complaint, alongside the Switzerland and Qatar transparency failure, alongside the messy red card that was not shown, Ghana now stand 4 points from 2 matches, unbeaten, on the brink of qualifying for the round of 32 for the first time since their extraordinary quarterfinal run in South Africa in 2010. Their opening victory over Panama and this draw against England have been built on exactly the tactical discipline and counterattacking structure that Queiroz has developed across 50 years of football. They face Croatia in Philadelphia in their final group game. A positive result guarantees their place in the knockout rounds. Thomas Partey, who missed Ghana's first match because a Canadian visa was denied due to an ongoing legal case in England, is available for selection. And Adu, the substitute who was at the center of both controversial moments and who troubled England's defense in ways the scoreline does not reflect, has announced himself at this tournament as a player whose involvement changes the game. That is not the path anyone predicted for this Ghana generation. But it is the path that is now theirs, and they are walking it while their manager is telling press conferences, in the careful language of a man who cannot afford to say what he actually means, that VAR went for a coffee. What do you think? Has the pattern of VAR decisions at this World Cup reached a point where the system's credibility is genuinely at stake? Or do the individual controversies, while real, reflect the inherent difficulty of officiating at this level rather than something more deliberate? The question that came out of Foxborough is a simple one. When Carlos Queiroz looked at a FIFA official in that room and asked in front of the world's football media whether VAR was still working, and then said he was joking because otherwise they would punish him, does that feel like a man making light of a difficult evening? If you found this worth your time, a like helps more than you'd think. Subscribe if you enjoy thoughtful football coverage, and let me know your view in the comments. I read everyone. Football at this scale is never just a tournament. It's a moment in time.